Hey, I'm Joe McNamee. I teach people how to buy real estate for a profit, buy and sell real estate for a profit without risking their money. So this deal right here, this is an interesting deal. This is a house. Now a lot of times when I put people in houses, I'll do a lease purchase or a seller finance or whatever the case may be. It might be a total cash out. But there's times where people want to give the house back. Either they want to end their lease agreement, they want to undo a seller finance deal, or they want to sell the house themselves, or they want to trade the house in. We trade houses up and down. You know, people want to upsize, downsize. People want to take and go to a different school system. They want to move to the city, they want to move to the country, whatever the case may be. So we trade houses just like a car salesman trades cars. So the thing that happens is sometimes we'll get a house back because of that. Earlier in my video blogs, there's one house that's the record time of sales, and that's 13 times I've sold the same house. Now, I've been doing this business for a long time. You have to understand that. I've got 4 decades of experience in doing this real estate business. But all of my stuff has proven the test of time too, by the way. But the thing about this house is we didn't get it back. We got it again. So what happened was, in the very beginning, the house was over-leveraged, over-financed. It was, you can see the picture date here of 2008. I don't know if you can see that on here or not, but that picture was taken in 2008. That's the first time that this couple came to us. They were moving to Utah. We're in Georgia. They were moving to Utah, and she had already tried a realtor. She already had tried to sell it herself, and she already tried a rental management company. Everyone told her she could not possibly get what her house cost a month, which is not that much. It was, I think her monthly payment was like 9 something in the beginning. It was, no, it was 11. It was like $11.39. That's what it was. So anyway, but she was told she couldn't get any of that, even for rent. So here's what she did. When we came and looked at the house, first it was my wife that looked at it. She looked at the house and she said, now there's some things we can do, and we'll give you a call in a couple of days. This lady was so motivated. Talk about a motivated seller. She said, no, if you guys are interested in the house, I'll follow you right now back to your office and do the deal. So, you know, we like people to think about it and all. But here's what we did. She came to the office, I sat down and talked with her. It was a shock to me that she was even there. My wife called me on the way to the office, which that house is probably 3 miles from my office. So she called me and said, hey, we're coming to the office. She wants to do the deal right now. So I sat down and chatted with her, and it's, by the way, it's in my live negotiations videos. I have hundreds of those negotiations, me working with buyers and sellers and solving their problem for a fair profit. But we're there, and she's so adamant about no one can help her, nobody can do anything, she's just going to lose it to the bank. She needs somebody to do something. So I put an option to purchase in place. I think it took us a week to find the buyer who could afford around, I think it was $1,400 or $1,600 a month. So is that enough money to cover the $11.39 payment? Of course. Am I buying that house? No. I'm not going to buy that house. I will never buy that house. And the reason is it's so far over the top, over leveraged, over financed in this economy, especially 2008. So what I did was I leased it with the right to sublease it, and then there's different things that I do in the contract with my end buyer on how they can buy the house, and I make them aware of everything, fully disclosed on what's going on with who all the players are. So the buyer that we put in place, down the road, this buyer was ready to buy it, and they wanted to buy it subject to. The seller is more than willing to let it go subject to. Now, what's the worst that can happen if we didn't get involved with this original seller? She's going to lose it to foreclosure. All right? So now, we're assigning this deal to the end buyer. The end buyer is buying it directly from the seller, subject to. So what's the worst that can happen for the seller is the payments don't get made, so she's going to lose it to foreclosure. So it's worth the try because she was going to lose it anyway. So you have to think about what's happening to the lender at the same time. The lender is getting that property back that is worth a whole lot less than what they originally loaned on it. But if I can get involved and get people involved that want it and understand all that, then so be it. So the end buyer bought it subject to, I think we made like, $11,000 or so off the deal. Okay, Heather, we got a restart thing that just came up there. Okay, so click later on, no. So click later on that. All right, so sorry about that, guys. The end buyer got a big surprise because their payment went from, and like I said, I can't remember if it was $1,400 or $1,600, down to $1,139. And the seller now has a person who's more committed to the property. The deed is transferred. They're in the property. They stayed in there for about, I can't remember how long, but here, I'll tell you the next part of this, which changed everything. I don't remember the exact time. But they called my office, the end buyer did, just several months ago. So this buyer was in there for years. They called my office about 3 months ago, and they said, listen, we've decided we don't want the house anymore. We don't know what to do. All right, and there's a surprise coming up here that was a surprise for me, but a huge surprise. But I said, okay, well, are the payments behind? They're 1 month behind. We didn't make the payment last month, and we're not going to make any more payments, and we're moving out. It's like, okay, well, I wasn't about to argue with them or any of that kind of stuff. They don't want the house. They don't want the house anymore. So immediately we called this seller who is in Utah and said, hey, did you realize? She said, yes, I was about to call you. That they've called me and let me know. All right, so I said, okay, well, here's what we got to do. First, we got to transfer the name, the deed, back into your name. So this this end buyer, who's now the seller, needs to transfer this deed back into the name of the original seller who has the loan on the property. They had no problem, so we did all the paperwork and processed the deed back into the original seller's name. Simultaneously, the people are out now. We marketed the property for sale, and it took us maybe 2 weeks at this time to find a new buyer who came from another state, drove with only seeing the video and only seeing pictures, drove from the West Coast to the East Coast to buy that house. He came with $38,500 to put down against it. He's a serious buyer. We put him in place as a lease purchase buyer. Now, how can I do that? I turned around once the property was put back in the seller's name. I had them do a lease agreement, leasing it to me for me to sublease it out to whoever the new end buyer is going to be. So we put the new end buyer in place, and we're waiting for the rest of the paperwork to be finalized on it. And we're waiting for a little bit of a history of this end buyer making their payments on time. Now, there's a surprise going on here. The surprise is, when we got the property back, we still had access to the loan information that we had in the very beginning when we did the deal to start off with. When we checked the loan, the payment had dropped from $1,139 a month down to $639 a month. So principal, interest, taxes, and insurance on that 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath that can be a 4-bedroom. There's one room in there that can be closed off to make it a 4th bedroom. So the payments are only $639 a month. So there's a tremendous amount of cash flow opportunity there that we allowed the end buyer to take advantage of. So in other words, the end buyer's payment is that. Now, why? Because he brought so much cash to the table, putting down up front. He was very serious, very cool guy, very good guy, and so we made a fair profit, but we didn't have to continue to gouge and draw out of it. It was a great deal for everyone, and so we decided to give him that. So now he is about to go to closing to own this house with that kind of a monthly payment. Now, can that payment adjust up? It sure can. He's aware of it. He knows that. So, but for the next couple of years, that payment's going to stay at $639. he will be able to refinance that within 1 year, maybe 2, or just pay it off cash. He has a few businesses where he makes plenty of money where he can just pay the house off cash if he wants to. Okay?